this for a year now, and I kind of just wanted to put together a sort of the year in review sort of thing. Mostly just because, as I feel like I've played a good few games this year, and I kind of just want to go through and give, just like a little bit of thoughts on like how I think each one went, because I think some definitely went smoother than others, and I'll basically just get into that on each individual one. One overarching thing I will say as a negative that goes through pretty much all of them, I think, is I had like an issue with my mic and recording stuff that I somehow managed to just not acknowledge a lot of the time, where it's just like when it's like the feedback from it or something is just like a bit too loud, so it sounds like there's a fan going for most of it. And hopefully, key term, hopefully, I've managed to fix that, and that shouldn't really be an issue in future, hopefully. Key term again, hopefully. So, yeah, that's basically just what this video is going to be. It's completely skippable, it's not... and I know that most people would normally do these in December at the actual end of the year, but I figured I started in September, like a year ago, so I figured I'll just do that for this year, and then starting next year I might start doing it for December, but I don't know, I'll figure that out when I get to that. So without further ado, let's just get right on into it. Okay, so first up was Persona 1, which ran for 36 episodes and 2 bonus ones for a total of 38, because I wanted to show what the bad endings were as well, even though they're completely optional and very easy to avoid, I think. And that ran from September 20th to November 5th last year, and for a first attempt at recording stuff, I definitely think it could have gone a bit... It definitely could have gone better, but it also could have gone a bit worse. Like, I feel like I didn't quite grasp audio for the first few episodes. Like, I feel like the gamer might have been a bit too high, or maybe a bit too quiet. And I feel like I gradually got better with audio as I went. And also, as the only series I recorded where I also I rendered everything up twice, and have the unlisted playlist of just, it's the exact same gameplay, just without any commentary, because I figured, yeah, people might not want to hear me talk, but want to see the game anyway. Other than that, aside from 2 massive exceptions, I think it went pretty okay. In terms of, like, the gameplay side, some fights were disastrously bad, and, like, there were a couple of fights where it just went on forever, and I nearly just got wiped out by regular enemies. But the 2 big exceptions for what I thought were terrible were, I think it's episode 24, it's the first one when you... it's when you first go into the dungeon where you fight Chisato at the end, and I basically just get lost for like 40 minutes and make no progress. I should have probably just reloaded and redone that entire episode. Either that or just put up a little note that says, skip this one, you don't miss anything, it's basically a glorified grinding episode. And then the other one is actually the second to last one, when I'm going through the Avidya world. Is that how that's pronounced? I don't actually know. But basically when you're going through there, and I basically just ended up wandering in a giant circle for like 35 minutes. And it's because I just didn't look at the map and just kind of doubled back where I was going and made a giant mistake on doing that. But otherwise, other than that, I think it definitely could have been worse, but it could have been a lot better as well. So basically, I think it could have been worse, but for a first attempt, it's not too terrible. But if I ever start doing second playthroughs of things, it's definitely going to be very high on the priorities list for a playthrough too. Mostly because I feel like it's a great game that no one really acknowledges, and I feel like it just deserves more appreciation for the words. I feel like it just deserves a lot more appreciation and recognition than it usually seems to get. After that, we played Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, which ran from November 8th to November 29th for 15 episodes in the main game, then a bonus episode where it was New Game Plus, but if I game over once the video ends. obviously it can't be, because obviously it couldn't have been if I lose once the game ends, because that is the duel that you have to lose to progress the story early on. And overall, I think it went mostly okay, and honestly went really smoothly for the most part, especially considering that for some reason unknown even to myself, I decided, yeah, I'm gonna make the game harder by saying I'm not allowed to use Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, which if you've played the game or have seen or like are knowledgeable about, it's basically a giant crutch monster that basically everyone uses for a large amount of the game, because it's just 2,800 attack points and it's super strong. Other than that, like, I did kind of enjoy playing through the game, but I feel like I should have put 2 of the episodes together at some point, because I think some of them are just really short. Oh, and I probably could, like, I feel like I probably could have condensed it down to, like, 12 or 13 episodes. And other than that, it did actually force me to get ahead on recordings, because, basically, in Forbidden Memories, Meteor Black Dragon is a extremely rare drop that you can get, but it's also the single most important best card in the entire game, because it's just 3,500 attack points outright, and ideally you want to get 3 of them. I dueled the same guy nearly 800 times and only got 2 of them. Like, I would say that I think the game is fun. Like, it's a game that I think is fun for a bit, but I don't know if it's a game that I would actually recommend to people. But yeah, I think the playthrough itself went kind of okay, but could have been better, could have been worse. Up next we had Pokemon Fire Red, which ran for 26 episodes and a death montage between November 30th and January 5th, I think? Yes, it was January 5th. Overall, I think it went pretty okay, aside from the inconvenience of losing the audio in one bit, so I had to redo, like, that episode, which is what led to the discrepancy of, like, my Growlithe being dead and my Machamp being dead, which wasn't exactly ideal, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with how the game went, and I think the light randomization, it kept the game very familiar, so I knew what I was doing, where I was going, and what I could have, and the limits of my Pokemon and everything. But it also just spiced it up a little bit. I don't really have a massive amount to say about Fire Red. I think it's probably still the best way to enjoy the Kanto region, unless they do another remake at some point, which, you know, they probably will. But I would still say Fire Red / Leaf Green are probably still the best ways to play a Pokemon in Kanto, and yeah, I'd say I feel pretty happy with how Fire Red went, aside from having to redo that episode because of losing the audio. Because, honestly, who knows, I might have still had that Arcanine or Machamp at the end otherwise. But yeah, that's basically all I really have on Fire Red. Okay, so then we managed to make our way into 2022 with Duelists of the Roses, which lasted for 20 episodes between January 6th and February 3rd. And honestly, it was a series I did mostly just to test if I could actually get mostly just to see if I could get my PC to run a PS2 emulator and record at the same time. Because to be totally honest, I'm amazed it managed it. I'm probably gonna hold back on doing other PS2 games for now, though, mostly just because, honestly, I don't think my PC could handle, like, actually intensive ones. I don't think it would go too well if I tried to do, like, Devil May Cry 1 or anything. But otherwise, I think Duelists of the Roses itself went really smoothly. Like, the playthrough was pretty fast, pretty easy to do. And yeah, it was just very simple, easy to record. I think I recorded like the entire playthrough over like 2 days. So basically that just got a ton of it done really quickly, because I was having fun on recording it, and well, it's a pretty fun game. Although the duel with Pegasus, think I attempted to record like 17 times because I could not win that duel. And each time was just increasingly frustrating. The worst one was like, I was basically just deadlocked for like 40 minutes. And then he just and I was one turn away from winning. He just flipped Tremendous Fire and I lost. And I was very frustrated when that happened. But yeah, other than that, I would say Duel Super Roses went pretty smoothly. But again, I think it did go well as like a first little test to see if I could do PS2 games. But I think I'm gonna just hold off on doing more of those just for now. But I definitely intend to play a bunch more PS2 games in the future, because obviously the PS2 has no shortage of incredible games. Okay, after that, we went back to playing Pokemon. We went and played Pokemon Emerald, which ran for 26 episodes in the Death Montage between February 3rd and March 11th. And honestly, I think it went pretty much the same as Fire Red, and I think it went pretty smoothly, although I don't think I had any, like, actual tech issues this time. And, I don't think I did anyway. I might have, but I don't remember them if they were. And honestly, I was really happy with it, mostly just because it was the first time I'd played through Pokemon Emerald since, 2005, I think? I know I only ever played through Pokemon Emerald for once, so I was very happy with how that went, and yeah, I can see why people definitely say it's the best way to play the Hoenn games. And yeah, they're really good. It's really good, really fun. Battle Frontier is a very nice little addition. And honestly, I enjoyed playing Emerald so much, I decided to actually just record Soul Silver straight afterwards. So I kind of had that done in advance. But yeah, I think Emerald went pretty smoothly. Okay, so after Pokemon Emerald, I did Persona 2 Innocent Sin, which ran for 30 episodes between March 14th and April 22nd, and honestly, I think I'm kind of mixed on it. The early episodes, I don't think came out particularly well. Early on, I think, to be honest, it was a game that I decided I was going to play. I knew I was going to play it on the channel at some point, but I think I may have just been forcing myself to play it too soon after I first played it, because I think it's fairly obvious in the first few episodes I didn't really want to be playing it. But I think overall, as time went on and we got further into the game, I did get much more into it and started to like the characters and world a bit more and everything. However, just like with Persona 1, there's one episode that is a complete waste. I think it is episode 17. I definitely chose the wrong option, because I just wander around lost for 45 minutes, and yeah, it's not great. However, I do think I should have done more off-screen grinding, mostly so I could just be on a higher level so things wouldn't take as long, and mostly so I could also learn more fusion spells, because I don't think I showed off the Rumor system particularly well, and how you can get Rumors from demons to get special moves and stuff. And also, I do think that I don't know, I'm kind of hit and miss with the episode lengths, because I feel I'm glad I had a nice round number for the series, but at the same time, I feel like some of the episodes are just way too long. But at the same time, it's just that last episode, that is pretty much a middling length movie in terms of length. It's 97 minutes or something, and it takes ages. But I feel like that was probably unless I started it at the door right before the fight with Nyarlathotep, I think that would probably be the only other time I could have started, and maybe put the fight with the Bolontiku at the end of the previous one. I don't know, I'm gonna look at that again and reconsider that for, like, when I do Eternal Punishment. But then I draw myself into the question, just like, but if I draw this out over, like, 60 episodes, how does that go? Because, obviously, I feel like 60 episodes would be way too much. But then again, I'll have to figure that out way more for when I eventually get to 3, 4, and 5, because those games are long. But, yeah, I'll try to find a healthy balance between the episode length, so when I do Eternal Punishment and then future ones. No exact guarantee on when Eternal Punishment will be, but I have finished my first playthrough of the game, so I know, like, where to go, what to do, how things work, and hopefully we'll be doing that probably sooner rather than later. Okay. But uploaded after Innocent Sin was Pokemon Soul Silver, which ran for 30 episodes and another death montage between April 25th and June 6th, and I'm mostly happy with how it went. However, I will say that one visual bug was a constant worry and problem, and I feel like my issue dealing with that kind of overshadowed a lot of the playthrough, because I mentioned it a whole bunch of times, and it was a giant hassle. Weirdly enough, though, when I was playing Pokemon Platinum, I never encountered it. Like, not even once. So I can only assume it's only in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Maybe it has something to do with, like, the following Pokemon. But even when I was wandering around in Amethyst Glen Platinum, it didn't do anything. But anyway, aside from that making me redo things and accidentally loading the wrong save state at one point, and just having to, like, redo, like, an hour or two, that wasn't exactly ideal either. But, like, otherwise, I think Soul Silver went pretty okay, and since I'd recorded it way in advance, I kind of, like, opened up a whole bunch of time for myself. So I basically just spent that time playing Yakuza Kiwami 2, and that game is also great. After that, I did the PS1 Spider-Man games, so Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro back-to-back, which were a total of 10 episodes. Spider-Man 1 was 5 episodes, Spider-Man 2 was 4, and then I did a bonus one, where I played the arcade mode of X-Men Mutant Academy 2, and those ran from June 7th to June 20th. I think they went mostly okay, but I probably should have one thing I noted later, and it kind of bugs me, was there's this tiny bar under the playthrough at the entire time. I'm from, like, the emulator, and I hadn't noticed it for ages, and yeah, that just kind of bugs me a little bit. That, and I feel like I probably should have like done a bit more research into the comics first, because, like, obviously I know who Spider-Man is, but I don't know, like, who all of the villains are. I don't know, like, their extensive backstories. I think the two that got it the worst were I had no idea who Hammerhead was in an Electro, and I think I said Electro himself was, like, an E-list jobber, and it turns out he's actually, like, kind of a big deal. That, and I feel like I probably should have played Mutant Academy 2 on not one round, because it turns out that game on easy mode 1 round is very short. Probably because it's a fighting game and the AI is not the best on easy mode. But also, I've played that game in a bit, and it is not a particularly good fighting game that I would enjoy playing. But yeah, otherwise, I would say I think the first game is just a little bit better. However, I will also say that the last level of the first game is so stressful. Like, I genuinely think that the escape from Monster Ark at the end of Spider-Man 1 on the PS1 might be more stressful than basically any horror game I've ever played. Like, it is an intense couple of minutes. But yeah, I think that's basically all I really have on that. After that, we started up Spyro 1 and 2. So we played Spyro 1 and Spyro 2, Gateway to Glimmer. Or if you're in North America, Ripto's Rage, back to back. Spyro 1 went for 10 episodes, and Spyro 2 went for 15. So that went from June 21st to July 4th, and then July 5th to July 25th. And I think the playthroughs went pretty fine. I don't think I got stuck too badly on anything. And I fixed the little issue with the band of a playthrough that was present in the Spider-Man playthroughs. However, in the second game, I ended up losing the first episode after I'd beaten the game 100%. So I ended up having to redo that. So that made it a little bit janky. However, I do think the games themselves were really fun. Like, Spyro 1, I played as a kid and didn't like. So going back to it now, I liked it a lot more than I thought I did. And it turns out it's aged fairly well, even though there's a couple of little things. Most notably when you sprint and do a jump, you get nowhere in Spyro 1. Which is why I was so excited about it when you get all of that in Spyro 2. Because the one I played most as a kid was the third game, which I haven't done yet, obviously. And playing Spyro 2 made me very clearly see just, like, the groundwork that was laid for one of my favorite games on the PS1. So, yeah, I would say Spyro 1 and 2, I'm pretty happy with how those went. Even if I did have to do a whole bunch of speeding up in some places because I was terrible, terrible at some of the things. Like the trouble with the trolley bit, obviously. The bit with the flags, the alchemist bit was pretty bad. The hockey bit in I forget what it's called. I think it's called Zephyr. No, it's not Zephyr. I forget what it's called. It's Colossus. It's one of the super early levels. That went so badly. I feel like I probably owe the nation of Canada an apology for how bad I was at hockey. So, sorry about that. After that, we returned to playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Games just a little bit. We played Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards, which ran for 9 episodes from July 26th to August 5th. And I think the game itself was okay. I think the playthrough went mostly okay, despite having also re-record an episode after I finished the game. But there's definitely some issues with that game. I feel like there's a couple of game mechanics that just aren't particularly fun. And also, just dealing with the deck cost limit is a giant pain. And kind of limits what you can use in your deck. Like, so I basically just added whatever fairly low cost cards I could, and got a whole bunch of traps and stuff. But I managed to get through the game without too many issues. However, there was also the sidebar, and honestly, updating that was kind of a pain. But also, I didn't want to have just like empty space, because I feel like that would be kind of weird. I like trying to at least vaguely fill the empty space. So I just put the card art of, like, the notable cards in my deck, and the notable cards in the deck of the most recent, like, important opponent. Although there was a couple where it's just like, did they ever use this card? So I just went with whatever I could for them. But otherwise, I'd say if Sacred Cards went okay, I'm kind of 50-50 on if I want to do Rechef of Destruction. I feel like I probably will at some point, but I'm not, like, in a hurry to do it unless I get, like, asked to do a whole bunch. Because Sacred Cards was okay, but I don't think I'm but I don't think I'm in a hurry. That's the combination of words I was looking for to go and play its sequel. And lastly, we had Pokemon Platinum, which started on August 8th and ran for 30 episodes under Death Montage until September 19th, so this should be coming out the day after the final episode. And honestly, I think it went, like, alarmingly smoothly for being the first time I was doing a properly randomized Nuzlocke. I think I got really lucky with some of the encounters that I got. Although I feel like it was going very well, very smoothly. I think everything was going perfectly. And then I lost Heracross. And then I lost Sceptile like 2 episodes later. Then I managed to like barely get through a couple of more things. And then the fight with Volkner happened. And that was a disaster. Then there was a couple of other little disasters. But other than that, I think it went mostly okay. I am still kind of upset and annoyed about losing that shiny Latios that I found. And because of my own momentary momentary incompetence of knowing how emulators work and loading an early save state, and basically just I loaded the save state that was before that had happened, so I just kind of lost the thing, and yeah, I definitely wasn't too happy about that, but I think the finding the shiny itself might actually be the single best, like, the singular moment from anything I've done this year. Either that or like a couple of the little things in Spider-Man 2. I think those were also fairly funny. But yeah, other than that, I think Platinum itself went pretty well. Oh, and also, another thing I'd like to say is thank you to Pokemon Platinum for not having the same massive annoying visual bug that appears on the emulator like it did in Soul Silver. So that was very good, and I still think Platinum is the best way to play the Sinnoh games, because Legends Arceus is off doing its own thing, and I feel like Platinum basically just invalidates original Diamond and Pearl, and Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond. Nearly said that the wrong way around. I mean, I'm sure they're probably fine, and obviously I haven't played like the ROM hacks or anything. But as far as the official releases go, I definitely think Platinum is the best way to play that game. But yeah, I think it went fairly smoothly. Yeah, well, it was going very smoothly at the start, and then it started falling apart a couple of times. So hopefully there was a couple of moments of just like, maybe thinking that I was gonna lose. I don't know, maybe I'll probably lose one eventually. Anyway, that's basically all I have on Platinum. But yeah, with that concludes my rundown of my first year. I would actually like to include just what I personally believe to be my clip of the year, because I think it's genuinely probably the most entertaining clip I have had from any of my playthroughs in the entire year. So I will just have that play now, hopefully. So basically, try deciphering the engravings on the stone tablet. Apparently it's for a trainer to engrave his or her thoughts after growing as a person on their adventure. A training thing that description would be you, that's why I'm asking for your help. You've met many people in Pokemon, experienced many things that have shaped you into the person you are. I want you to sincerely tell me who affected you the most. So who do you want to say thanks to? Now do I say something cliche, like you, something selfish, like me, or do I just say anime and go from there? I'm just gonna say anime and go from there. Yes, I would like to express my thanks to anime. Why? Because I thought it would be funny. So what is our shaman? That sounds like a Latios. It's a shiny Latios. We just found a shiny! No way! Okay, this time for sure. You know, because anytime I've ever said this time for sure, it's immediately gone so well.
Wonderful.
What even happened there? Because even if I am, how do I get past them? What happened here? I think I'm just falling into the void. No? Is that the end of the level? Did I win? Did I win? no, I died?
This place is gigantic.
Okay. Well, that happened. As for what's gonna be up next, I'm gonna probably just do free one-offs for the rest of this week. And maybe a new thing where I'll just play like one episode's worth of a game, and then if I like it, I might come back to it later and make it a full playthrough. Or if the comments really want to see it as a full playthrough, I might do it from there. Other than that, though, I don't know the order for everything or when I'm going to be doing things. Haven't thought that far ahead. However, there are a few games I know that I'm going to play within the next year. So, I guess I'm just gonna give you some previews as to games that you can expect, playthroughs that you can expect to see between now and hopefully this time next year, worst case scenario, end of 2023. So, here's some previews. So yeah, with that brings my video about my first year doing this to a close. Obviously there's the subscribes, the likes, the comments, all that jazz, you know, the general gist of it. If you're so inclined. And I would mostly just like to thank you for watching, even if it's only been for like 2 minutes. It's because, well, honestly, I didn't expect anyone to watch this at all. Also, yeah, if you got any enjoyment at all out of this, even if it's just laughing at my low production quality, I hope you had a good time. However, I do have one final thing before I end off. One final preview for one series that you won't actually have to wait too long for before it appears on the channel. So I'll leave you with that. Thanks for watching. Later.